All right, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Raiders Report. I hope everyone's doing well and staying safe out there. This week I'm joined by former Nepean Raider and 2019-2020 ECAC Goaltender of the Year with Clarkson U Golden Knights, Francis Marotte. Is that how you say the last name?
Yeah, exactly. You got it
I
right.
got it. All right. Thanks for joining me, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. I mean, big name like you now. I mean, definitely happy to have you. Before I get started on sort of your game and your season, I'm always interested in how we discussed this a little bit before I recorded, but how players stay busy off the ice, especially during the pandemic. I didn't get a lot of insight on what players have done. So, what are some things that you have done to keep busy just during the pandemic and while you've been off the ice?
Yeah, I think I had to change my game plan a little bit. It's not the typical summer here, so
Right.
and it's been extended too. So it's I gotta manage a little bit better, and I've been in the gym a little bit more than usually, obviously. But I mean, it's all about a routine, really. So I start my weeks. I go on the ice 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm in the gym 3 times a week. So all the weeks are pretty much the same, and then I take the weekends to kind of relax. So and kind of recharge the batteries for the
Right.
full week ahead. So
Yeah, I mean
they've
that's
all been the same too. So not
yeah,
much.
it's definitely a heavier week if you're sort of on the ice 4 times and working out
Yeah.
as many times as you do. So getting to recharge those batteries during the weekend,
Yeah.
I definitely get that. What do you do for for fun during the weekend or just to relax or
Yeah. There's not much you can do right now. So
yeah,
everything's closed. The restaurants are closed. So
yeah, that's brutal.
just hang out. I'm still at my parents' house. So I mean, a lot of hot tub and walks and grocery shopping and uh, not too much. So uh, that's kind of nice though, getting to see his parents. Obviously, I've been away from home for a while now, so it's the first time I've spent so much time in a row at home. So
Yeah.
no, it's been good. There's always a positive to this whole thing. So
All right, awesome.
yeah,
Some people like hate grocery shopping. I'm one of the rare people that actually love it. I think it's so great. I love doing that stuff. But anyway,
yeah, I love food. I love food. I'm big into nutrition and all that
yeah.
stuff. So it's my little treat of the weekend going grocery shopping, as weird as it sounds.
Yeah.
I'm the
Do you
same way.
do you chef it up? Are you a cooker?
Yeah, I try. I try. I'm really picky with my
Okay.
nutrition. I'm really trying to find the perfect nutrition for me that's gonna help me most. So yeah, I try to whip up some stuff and
Oh yeah.
and mix it up. So I'm not a great chef by any means, but I'm trying to get better. So
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, I'm limited to pasta and like frozen pizza, so you're probably doing better than me.
yeah, not quite eating pizzas anymore, but
Yeah, I
happens
bet.
once in a while.
Just a little treat, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
all right, well, I'll get into the award you got last season. I mean, your season with Clarkson U and the Golden Knights was pretty incredible. I mean, you had a 938 save percentage. You guys had a really great record. No doubt you deserved that award, but how did it feel to win that? It must have been something that you worked hard towards and felt good to receive.
Yeah, I mean, there was so obviously I spent 3 years at Robert Morris,
Right.
had 3 really good years, and so I came to Clarkson, and I wasn't expecting much. I wanted to play some games and prove what I could do, really, in a different setting. And I mean, we had a really good team, so that helped a lot. My D core was unbelievable, and I had a lot of trust in them, and obviously had a lot of trust in me too. So that helped a lot. So as much as that felt really good to get that award, I see it more as a team award more than anything else. So no, it's still a great feeling though to get recognized for all my efforts, really.
Yeah, I mean, definitely deserved it. Um, but of course, it goes both ways with the decor helping out, and um,
Mhm.
I know that Clarkson U. There's actually some pretty cool names that came out of there. especially for Ottawa people like myself and Mark Borvietsky. I think he played
Yeah.
in there, or I'm
Yeah.
not sure how many, but he was a defenseman that came out of Clarkson U. So that was a fun
Yeah.
name when I was just looking it up. And
Yeah,
anyways,
they've got a couple. They've got a couple NHL guys that came out, so it's a really good program. Like, really well run, and I was really fortunate to be part of it.
yeah, I was gonna ask about the program and just the staff and all that. Was that something that a good experience that you had?
Yeah, it was awesome from day one. They were great to me. I mean, I got and I played some games, and the atmosphere around the rink. They did a great job. Like, I felt right at home. Like, you could see how hard it could be for me to kind of jump in and be a fourth year guy and
Right.
play with guys that had been there for 4 years. But it was actually super easy. The staff made it super easy, and the group of guys was unbelievable. So it made it really easy. And then the city, it's a really small city, Potsdam, New York, but
Right.
uh, unbelievable fans. Like, the place was always packed, and you walk around town, and hockey's the big thing. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play there. So
Yeah, hockey towns are always the best place.
yeah,
Everyone I talk to, I mean, if they got packed stadiums, like it's just the atmosphere is always so great.
yeah, exactly.
Definitely an upside. Just switching back towards your Nepean years really quickly. I mean, you guys had a pretty good season in 13, I think, and you guys had a little bit of a playoff run as well. What did you take away from your time in Nepean and maybe the success and things you learned there?
Well, so my path to Nepean wasn't the typical one. So I moved a lot, and I didn't play a lot of games heading into Nepean. So I was really fortunate to have people that trusted what I could bring to the team. Randy and Pete Goulet were there at the time, and they kind of gave me the net, and like, I got there mid-November, and they gave me the net, and I played pretty much all the games from the point on. And um, we had a decent season our first year, so we played Smiths Falls in the little round robin before the playoffs.
Right.
So and we beat them, so that was big. It was a best of three, and I still remember beating them the second game. It felt unreal.
Yeah.
And then going on to my second season, I just wanted to build on what I had done the year prior. And again, like, so much trust from the staff there and my teammates. It was such an unbelievable experience to play that many games and kind of be back there for the team and try to win some games, and obviously learned so much by playing so many games. So I'm so fortunate to have been part of the organization.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the more games you get, I mean, the more experience you'll get, and it goes a long way. So obviously, good to have that opportunity. Um, Moving on to Robert Morris, you played there a few seasons. What did you take away from your time there? I mean, the program there is a pretty good program. So
Yeah.
some things you took away from that.
Yeah, I was actually really lucky. So Randy brought me to Nepean pretty much with Pete, and then Randy's son was playing there too. So I kind of had that affiliation at Robert Morris. Brandon was playing there already, and he was great at showing me around and kind of telling me a little bit how it worked. And obviously, I didn't have to. My expectations weren't too high. I got in as the third goalie and a couple fortunate bounces, and I ended up playing like the third game of my first year.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, so the first goalie got injured, the second goalie got pulled in a game, and I jumped in second game of the season. I did well. So from that point on, I played pretty much all the games. So, like, a good turn of events and a little bit of luck and my preparation going into it, and that's where Nepean was so big for me, kind of preparing me by playing so many games to kind of jump in and be able to compete at that level. and obviously learned so much from Robert Morris in my 3 years there. And I was really fortunate again to play with the people I did, and made like a ton of great friendships too.
Yeah. I mean, definitely sort of a lucky bounce there to have that opportunity, but to show up the way that you did, also to stay in there in the net as well. So,
Yeah.
definitely something to be proud of. What's an aspect of your game that you've seen a lot of growth and improvement, and what's another aspect of your game that you're looking to improve
Uh, Always taken a lot of pride in my consistency, and it comes a lot from my preparation to every game. So, like during the summer, or even like days before game or the day of a game, uh, I don't want to say I'm superstitious, but I like to do the stuff that works. And through the years, I've experimented with a lot of stuff, so I see what works for me, and how I can use stuff such as meditation, breathing to kind of zone me in and make me ready for a big game. So I would say for sure consistency has gotten better over the years, and that's helped me big time in my success. And one thing to improve on, I think just bouncing back quicker. I mean, you never get good enough at allowing a goal and then being solid right after and forgetting about that bad goal,
it?
or that goal, simply that goal. Like, it doesn't matter if it's bad or good or bad, but just switching gears and getting ready for the next shot. I think it's the big difference between a really good goalie and a bad one or an average one. So that's something I look to improve every day through simple things such as meditation, breathing, and mindful exercises. So
Oh, that's it's. I was talking to the last episode. I had a goaltending coach, Matt Young, on, so I got some insight, and I asked him about the headspace and a lot of the psychological aspects of goaltending, since he was majoring in that. So I thought I'd touch on it, but it's really interesting, like how you stay in the game after you get a goal scored, or sometimes even when the other guy at the other end of the net is getting peppered and you're kind of staying in your zone, not much to do. It's hard to get in the game. So
yeah,
it's interesting how players stay in the game. So
yeah.
I was gonna ask you about your if you had any pregame rituals that you do, but clearly that's something you're consistent in.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, I pretty much always have the same pregame ritual. Wakes me up in some type of way and makes me focus for the game. Um, I mean, I get to the rink and I have the same little routine. So I get there, I tape my stick always first, and then I get in the room, do my stretches, movements until it's team warm up, then go up, team warm up, and then get back, do a little bit of breathing, get dressed, probably always the same way, although I don't notice anymore. I think it's a hockey player thing. We've done it
Yeah.
so many times that it's become automated a little bit, but get dressed always the same way, and then heading down the tunnel to go on the ice. Even there, I always do the same thing. I don't even have to think about it anymore, and that's the beauty of the thing too. Just to get down the tunnel and just having a clear head and getting ready to jump on the ice and play some hockey. And it's funny because my goalie coach this week asked me, Frank, did you have anyone scraping your ice like during TV timeouts this year? And like I remember that Robert Morris that we had girls coming out and
Oh,
scraping our
right.
face.
Okay.
But at Clarkson, I was like I blanked out, like, because every TV timeout I put a knee down and I just breathe to
Oh,
kind of
okay.
so I forget what's going on around.
You got no idea if someone's scraping.
Yeah, I still have no idea. So it's little things like that make me zone out so much that I forget what's going on around me, and make me prepared for the next shot. So yeah, that's a little bit of my pregame ritual
Yeah.
and game ritual as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that you're able to do that is already something in and of itself. Like being able to zone out mid game. I mean, I go out for my intramural soccer game and I'm sweating buckets. Like I can't handle it. So yeah, I'm sure that it's definitely something you've worked on and that's taken.
Yeah, it comes with experience too. Like I said, like I was really lucky. Like at Nepean, I played 100 games plus, so I was lucky to do it many times and practice that routine and see what works and what doesn't. And that's what helped me in college too. So I owe a lot to all the games I played in juniors.
I don't know if this is again from, I was talking to goaltending coach from Nepean now, but he brought up the Braden Holtby. There's this video on YouTube where he is the preparation he does. Have you seen that?
Oh, is it the squirt or like pregame?
Yeah, the pregame, and I think he does the squirt. Yeah,
Yeah. So is pregame like on the bench looking at the ice? Was that him? Because I
yeah.
think yeah.
It
I
starts and
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. So I think it starts in the change room, but yeah, it's just a really interesting video because the crazy things people do for preparation, but it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to go look it up because I don't think I've seen the whole thing, but that's stuff that interests me for sure. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, he made me watch it. I had no idea it existed, but super interesting. Just like people do
Yeah,
crazy things to get in the game, and whatever works works. You know, like if it works
yeah,
for you, it works.
exactly. We're all different, really. Like something that's gonna work for me is might not work for the guy next to me. So yeah, that's why it's always fun to kind of look at someone else and see what they do and see maybe this whole thing's gonna work for me. So I love doing that too. I'm super curious about all that stuff. So you'll have to send me the video
Yeah, I can
after.
do that. No worries, absolutely. Just shifting a little bit here. I'm sort of interested in what got you into goaltending as a start. Was there a player that you saw growing up that you loved, or were you just naturally just good at it, or what was it that got you into it?
It's funny. I get that question quite a bit, and
Oh yeah, I bet. Sorry.
it's actually not the answer people are expecting from me.
Oh, okay.
Um, I was a player till I was 8, maybe. And one day I came off the ice and looked at my dad, and I'm like, "Dad, I'm either a goalie or I'm not playing hockey anymore."
Oh
So, so
man.
obviously my dad loved hockey, so he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna put you goalie," and then I started being a goalie, and uh, obviously I loved it right from the get go, and started looking up at goalies like Cristobal Huet, who was in Montreal, a French
Yeah.
goalie. And then Carey Price came from Hamilton, and looked up to him right away. So that kept me going a lot. But at the start, like it was more like looked at like I'm either a goalie or I'm not playing. So it's not like I fell in love with being a goalie. It was just a change of scenery that I think I wanted because I wasn't a great player by any means. I just something else. So,
Yeah. Well, so you almost didn't play at all. You almost weren't even a goaltender then.
yeah, if my dad said screw you, you're not gonna play, I'm paying for your goalie equipment, I don't know what I would have been today, but I probably would have been where I am. So
Yeah. Well,
okay.
thanks to all the dads for sticking out.
Yeah, he's played a huge part in everything. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Assuming that family always plays a really big role for players, and I'm assuming that's the same for you.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I moved away from home when I was 15 to play in Colorado, and they had a really big part. Like at 15, obviously you're old enough to make decisions, but it's a pretty big decision. So
Yeah.
both my parents supported me quite a bit in making that decision to move away and play some hockey. And obviously, it made me grow as a person so much, and I can't thank them enough for that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I want to know. a lot of guys, they always have to keep this one tip that they got somewhere from a coach or a player that they then proceed to pass along. Is there a tip that you ever got or some piece of coaching or advice that really stuck with you that you would share to younger goaltenders?
The first thing that comes to mind, it's kind of funny. I never really shared it. My dad brought a skills coach here when I must have been 16, 17, 18,
Okay.
around that age. And um, it was a skills coach. Like the guy knew pretty much nothing about goalies, but he
Okay.
comes up to me after practice and he's like, when the guy comes and shoot, just breathe. Because as a goalie, you have a tendency to tense up when a shot comes, and just by being aware and breathing through the shot and breathing out on the shot, it makes every save so much easier, and it makes you something. It takes your mind away from any worries you might have to, and like that's a tip I still use today. I use it every practice. It's the first thing I do when I get on the ice. Just breathe, and it makes you forget about anything that might be going wrong around you at the time. So yeah, it's crazy that it's like it just popped back in my head now, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a huge advice that's helped me so much.
Well, skill coach comes in clutch, I guess. That's yeah. That's not
Yeah,
something you expect for sure.
no, yeah.
Do you remember the best save you've ever made? Is there a clear memory to you what your best save ever was, or a series of saves? Not to pump your own tires too much, but
Like I've always taken pride in just making the simple, steady saves. I can say that like there's a save that I made. I'm sure down the stretch in games, tied games, 2-1 games, I've made good saves, but I never really see my saves as being like life changers, and I've never actually, funny story, I've never really won championship. It's funny because this year we were fifth in the country when everything shut down, so that was
oh,
kind of
okay.
my opportunity for the first go for a championship. But um, and I lost. I actually lost twice in the finals at Robert Morris.
Oh
I
no.
believe, I believe Brendan Watt was there too both years. But so yeah, I don't really have a save where I can say, oh yeah, that save was unbelievable and it won me a championship, because I've never won a championship. But
Right.
um, yeah, I just take pride in being so steady that like I want to make each save look super simple. So I never end a game and be like, oh, like I made this huge save and I remember it. So
Yeah.
it's a tough question.
Yeah, it's definitely. I was gonna keep that one for last because I wasn't sure, but it's definitely a tougher question because it's like I'm not looking at my own saves like that. Like who does?
Yeah, yeah,
You
exactly.
never know. You never know. Maybe you got something in your pocket that you remember really well. But
I'll let you know if I remember one by the end. I'll let you know.
okay, sounds good. Did you have a favorite team growing up? I'm sure that growing up in Quebec, and there was a team that you looked up to the most. A team you cheered for.
Yeah, yeah. So growing up, obviously, I'm in Montreal. So and like I said, I loved Christa Baluet and Carey Price growing up. So I followed them a lot. So I watched a lot of games, and my dad actually had season tickets. So
Oh,
we
that's
used to
huge.
go a lot. Yeah, we used to go a lot until I left at 15. And since then, we've gone a couple times. But obviously, I still follow them. Um,
Yeah.
but as you grow, you kind of start to appreciate all teams really. Like obviously Montreal's holding a special place because I've grown up around them. But it's just fun watching games and watching how good the goalies are and the guys are. So yeah, but definitely Montreal growing up.
Yeah. I always appreciate watching games. I mean, even especially in person, it's insane. Like for me especially, because I'm not like a big skater or anything, but just watching the guys skate live, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
skates and the stop and go, and yeah, it's a really appreciate that, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's next for you after a season like that at Clarkson U? What are your expectations you've set for yourself? Obviously the pandemic, you never know what's happening, but some things that you may have control over, expectations or anything of the sort.
Yeah, obviously it's hard. You expect to end your senior year and head somewhere right after the year and end the season somewhere pro. And that's what I was expecting. Even when the pandemic hit, I kind of thought something was going to happen, but obviously it kept going. It's still going right now, so it's hard, and you're not too sure when it's going to end. And I get news here and there, but nothing concrete at all. It's still really abstract. So, I mean, I control what I can control. I go in the gym, I work out hard, I go on the ice. I'm really fortunate. I go on the ice with a bunch of pro guys that are still here, and I'm kind of waiting on news. Obviously, not much going to play out until the NHL decides on a date, um, and then the AHL is probably going to follow suit right
Right.
after. So I'm kind of waiting on that right now. But again, I'm just trying to control what I can control and get a little bit better every day in a different way. Like I was saying at the start, I'm trying to get better mentally. I truly think that 90% of a goalie's job is mental. Um, and that's the part of my game I'm trying to work on right now. If I can get that as close as possible to 90 and still improve that 10%, then I give myself the best chance. So that's
Yeah,
what I've been.
absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, to your point about watching the teams as well. I mean, yeah, I think I cheer more for players than I do for teams now. So I mean, hey, you're one of those players now. I'm cheering for you. So
it's awesome.
doing this, I appreciate it. I got no more questions left for you. So
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. I love doing this, and obviously Nepean has been huge in my development. So anytime I can talk and say good things about my time there is unbelievable, and hopefully they do super well in the future, and they win a couple of championships for me.
yeah, yeah. Hey man, I appreciate you coming on, and yeah, they're looking like they got a good team this season. Hopefully, whenever it gets going, they got some good guys in that as well, actually. So
That's good to
uh,
hear.
yeah. Anyways, yeah. Again, thanks for doing this, and take care. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.